Hi, in this video we learn about interface in Java programming. So before going ahead, we need a Java installed in your system along with Eclipse, and I'm assuming you have already installed, and the installations must be there in your Windows or your environment where Eclipse. You have to just double click, you'll be open that Eclipse environment. Likewise this, and second one JDK 1.7 or directly 1.8. if you have a both 1.7 and 1.8, that will be very easy to understand that both features and features of a JDK and end-to-end for this tutorial. So first I'm going to discuss more about what we have till JDK 1.7. So for this I have created one Java interface in Java programming project by. So what you have to do this, you have to go to file, new Java project, and by Java project you have to type that name of the project and you have to select that JRE. So use extensions JRE. So over here I have installed the multiple, so I'm able to see the JDK 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. so for this as we are going to discuss JDK 1.7, so you have to select JDK 1.7 and click on the finish, but I have already did that. So my project is, after clicking on finish, you will see that interface in Java programming, SRC and JRE library. So if I'll verify that, how to verify that JRE is there or not. So you have to right click on in project, build path, then configure build path, and if you go to that library tab under Java build path, you'll be able to see that JRE is there. If you don't want this one, just remove it, add library and click apply and OK. So already there in JDK 1.7 with this, and which is visible on that your project itself. Now I'll go ahead with my favorite calculated example. So I'll just remove that. Once you'll create that how to create that interface, we'll see. So I'll do one thing, I'll remove these ones also, and simple calculator. Okay, let me remove that entire. I'll remove the package as well, we'll see. So right click on SRC, new, then you have to choose the interface, and then you have to type the name of a package, com.a2z examples, and name of the interface is calculator. Now we'll see that one more thing. If we'll add that anything over keyword over here, like so it will say that interface is not a valid Java identifier. Reason why is interface is a keyword in a Java, and we cannot use that anywhere in by name or something like that. So the first issue we understand, if we put that a name of the interface as well, interface, that will be not, because we'll get that a type name is not a valid, type name identified is not identified, so we cannot use that any keyword. Suppose I'm typing in a small now in CLC, brief in calculator, and we have to type the name of a package. By default it will be like a public, and click on finish. After getting this creations in body, we got that this package is a keyword, public is a keyword, interface is a Java keyword, and com.a2z example is the name of the package, which is nothing but a folder structure, and it will be created under that Java interface, Java interface in Java programming under src. The package come, and then inside one more folder A to Z examples will be there, where our CLC interface will be there on Java file. Now, so with help of this interface also called that marker or tag interface, which ones don't have any method or field or variable in these ones. So we'll see how that will be there. So this is the marker interface, and which means we don't have a body. So you can see that interface called folder, create the project A to Z. Okay, I'm sorry for that. In Java you have to go to that, see that interface section, and if you'll see, come all the way down, and this is right click, go to something blah blah blah, and there is a interface called serializable. If I extend this one, so after that extending that serializations, we'll see that in this interface nothing is there. However, if you want to do that any serializations related to reading and writing the file, or want to serializations, you have to implement it on this interface, and that interface is also called as a tag interface and marker interface, because we don't have anything in their body part. So whatever we created, this is also called a tag or marker interface. But in tag and marker interface, internally native code is written in other than Java, which will work for that interface, and that will be used for reading and writing and serializations purpose. Anyhow, that's another topic. We need to dig into more details. So this is our first interface, CLC. Now I'll add that add int a comma int b and terminate it. This is the first method. Before that, int a equals to 10 and b equals to 20, int c equals to nothing. There, no, what will happen? So as of now, we found that one error, compilations error or creations error. We cannot use that any keyword in that interface. Now, as per the definition, first definitions I'm going to implement now. As per the definitions of interface, in we only can put that public statics and final variable, not any other variable. What error we are getting? The blank field, final field C may not have been initialized, because we need to initialize, because this is the final and we cannot put that a null. So at least we have to put any value for these ones, and it will be considered as that value. Int c equals to other than 0, and the nature of int is by default 0, so it was not taking 0 as well. Oh no, it's taking, I'm sorry for that. So it's c is equal to 0, and so this is that one interface, we can say that, and it's compiling. And I write that one implementations class, so I have to just right click on src, new and class, and the class implementation is a simple calculator, SIM CLC. So sim calculator, that is nothing but simple calculator. So for this class we can only extend that calculator CLC. Oh, I'm sorry. Need to implement it. I'm sorry for that. CLC. Now, after implementing that interface CLC, we are getting some issue, because in our implementations class simple calculator we did not implement that method, abstract method, whatever we have in CLC interface. So if I override that add method, we have in calculator one add, which is nature of this add method is public and abstract int add. So after overriding this method in implementations class, our error, compile time error got removed, and we'll add that public static void. We'll run, then we'll see. String argument, the body of the method, and in implementations we'll do that a plus b, and we'll call creating the object additional object equals to new the class of the object obj.add, passing the parameter 10 and 20 or 30, terminate it. But so if you want to print, then you just put that this out and terminate it. Now our interface and implementations done. What you have to do, right click on this class, go to run as Java applications. Okay, so for this unsupported major and minor version, so what happened, it's compiled with a lower one and it's running with a higher versions. So unsupported we got that. Now what you have to do, I'll go and just switch that in a remove add library, finish. Okay, and then Java path we have to say check that which Java is taking. Or otherwise by default choose that 1.8 itself, no problem. We'll remove that 1.7. So we got that 10 plus 30 is equal to output is 40. So this is the first way of implementing these ones. Now we'll see that a second definitions. Till yet we found that a two issue, we have to initialize that a variable. Now I'll modify this interface. So whatever earlier it was there without public statics final in field level or variable and public statics int levels, there is no change, nothing. By default at the time of a compiler it will be considered and it will be appended public statics final in field level, whereas public statics in any method level. And if I'll run that, there nothing is required to change. It will I will get that output because internally JVM will be understanding that both one is remaining same. So this is all. Now we'll see that if you write that any method in an interface. Okay, now go ahead with JDK1.8, which I want to remove that, otherwise we will not see that difference. So I'll remove this once again. I'll add that JDK1.7. I'll not run that applications, but I'll make sure I'll use that for compilations purpose. Until compilations only will find that error. So if I'll use that int subtract int a comma int b, and if I'll add that body part, we'll get that error. We cannot add that fstx method do not specify a body till 1.7, but these features will be there in 1.8. We can add that with help of a default and static, which we'll discuss that in later. So until 1.7 we cannot add the body in that interface. So we have to put like only declarations, which is as per the definitions. Only we put that what we want, but what to do, but we don't know how to do. So only as of now, as per like a simple calculator till 1.7, we have to implement fstx method where like add, subtract, multiply and divide will be there, but how that will be implemented in that their implementations class, it's depend on their like their business logic. It may be different for simple calculator, it may be different for something like that. Someone will be a plus b, and they will concatenate the strings. They will say that value of a equals something, value of b is equal to something, and then they will say that a plus b equals to something like that. Whereas someone will be directly print the output like a plus b, whatever is there. For example, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, then they will return that only 30. Likewise, this is that one other example. So till the time we found that we cannot put that in anything in interface. So this is that another bookish language, and we prove it. Now I'll use that in interface. We'll try to create that object of interface. We cannot. Okay, before that I don't want to use this method. I'll remove it. More method, more complexity. So we got that this ones. If I'll create that instance of that interface, Athena obj interface is equal to something like that. So it will be called cannot initiated the type call. So we cannot initiate that interface, like we cannot create the object of that interface. Fourth definitions. On fifth definitions, now we'll see on nothing. How will do that inheritance for these ones. So we need a two interface for that. First we'll remove that. Okay, let it be inside only. I'll add that we'll add the printable, which ones I have void print, and we'll have interface displayable, showable, printable, showable is viewable, which nothing would display. So we got that three interface. Now printable, swivel and display. Now if we implement the multiple inheritance, so for multiple inheritance in interface, one interface we can extend the another interface like a printable with help of a comma, swivel, and for implementations is not required over here now. Whereas if I'll extend that if I'll implement that in any class, then in that implementations class both this method is required to implement it. For example, as of now we are getting that issue, we need to the type simple calculation must implement the inherited abstracts method printable dot print. So if I implement that a print, then we'll get that a swivel. So in single I have added that both override print method and override the display method. Now error got removed. We resolve this issue because we override the both method and not both, all three method towards they are in a printable, swivel and calculator. So all three method like add, print and disp is there overridden, add, print and disp, and the issue got resolved in implementations. If we want to extend that multiple interface in class itself, we'll see that will be possible. So we have one simple calculator with help of implement. We can put that a printable, comma, showable. So what is happening, we have a three interface, we'll directly implementing over here, and we are implementing calculator as well. So still okay, because the GID is different, so still it's working. So in any class we can implement with the implement keyword, we can implement that multiple interface with a comma, whereas in interface itself with the extend keyword we can do that. Similarly in multiple label also we can do that with interface. For example, so we'll extend the printable and printable. Now swivel is there in a CLC class. So for this also remaining same, in simple calculator only we have to override that all three and it's remaining same. And with help of that we have to override that all three, because okay, I'll remove these ones, only I'll put the calculator, because in calculator we got that all three. Reason why in first label we have interface print, but swivel also extending the print, so now swivel have the print and display method, whereas calculator is extending that swivel which ones have the print, display and add. So all three we have to override here. If any one of them I'll remove, then we'll get that error message, compile time error, that abstracts method printable is not there, so we have to override it. So we got that inheritance. Now we learn that how to declare interface, what to do with a field level, method level, and their implementations with the implement class, and extending that multiple interface in interface with the interface by extend keyword. So till yet we discussed that only about the JDK1.7. Now we'll discuss that more about JDK1.8 feature. So for similarly I have did that for JDK1.8 as well, and I have just created a project that interface in Java programming with something like that, and added that a two method. So I have one calculated interface which once I have four method. So similarly what we discussed, that this is the abstracts method, and we have to this method need to be implemented in that implementations class. Whereas display and print, whereas we added that default and add additions and aesthetic sub method. So in JDK 1.7 there is a default method added where with help of that we can declare that a body as well for that interface, and similarly for class level like aesthetics, which one's available for all instance of all class level for all variables, for class level for all implementations where we are implementing this class in our interface. So now why this has been added, we need some definitions. So before that you only know that how to do, we don't know what to do, but there is some constant. If you do that, whatever the issue, only when the issue, due to that we have added, they have added that this functionality. If you add what was the issue in the Java interface in the earlier versions, all F6 method need to be implementations class. This is one of the bad thing, and reason why, if you say that I have one interface which ones I have one or two methods like entry and exit, but I don't want to use that exit, I need only entry. Even though exit I have to define that in my implementations class. And so many like list collections interface are there where we have a different method which is not required, and even though forcefully we have to implement it. Second thing, if you add any additional abstract method in existing interface, they need to implement in all implementations class everywhere else, otherwise compilations will be there. All binary and dependency need to be recompiled and again build for it. But in JDK, if you want to add that additional method, just add as a default, so nothing is required, only change that interface path and build it and run it. No implementations class impacted and all. So this is all about what I have like in these ones, and the implementations of this. I just override that display and print, whereas just call that, and the object is like additions. Default method is called by that additions default method by in object level, whereas one tricky question is there. For aesthetics we need to put that name of interface, then that name of a method name. So for example, aesthetics in sub is there, which is part of a calculator, and we cannot use with help of a object, current object class which is implementing that interface. For example, obj dot, we cannot get that sub method, unable to see, and we cannot call with that object. So what we have to do, we have to put that name of interface and then the aesthetics method name. This is a part of JDK 1.8 features, and if we run these ones, we'll get that expected output. So this is the expected output. You will see that in my tutorial as well. I'm not sure I have put or no, it's not there, no problem. Anyhow, I'm going to add that video English in English sections over here, and in later time I'll add that in Hindi over here. So hoping while going through that my video you found that like all about interface. If you have any questions, please put in the comment sections, come all the way down, write your comment or query or concerns and put it on. For more detail, just like that in Google Plus, Facebook or all, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much for watching.